So I'm really, taken aback by all of these things. And one important question I wanted to ask here, apart from this topic, we may come back to this. That is, how was your, this is actually a residential school. Essentially, you are staying 24 hours there. So how was your interaction with your parents? What part did the parents have to play in the life of children after they get into the Gurukul?
So initially, like the first time we went there, what we were told is, yeah, parents can come and meet the children anytime they want. Yeah, you can take them home, and all these things were told. So for the first few weeks at the max, our parents could come and take us home. But then slowly what started happening after that is, rather than the teachers actually saying the parents that you cannot, I don't want to emphasize on that, but I want to emphasize on the part where we are told that our parents are only our biological parents, but ultimately Swamiji is our father and our mother. So we should start only connecting to him. If we start getting attached, they call it attachment with parents, and they say we'll have to break that. So if like a kid is crying for his mom or dad, it's he would be taught how to break that attachment and start connecting to Swamiji. The solution will not be to talk to your mother, talk to your father, but it will be come connect to Swamiji, take Swamiji as your father, as your mother. See, he's the ultimate cosmic father and mother to all of us, so we'll have to only connect to him. And so when we start building that cognition, right, especially for the four of us, like we have experienced it, we started trying to ignore our parents. Like, I'll be like, no, you're just our biological parents. And it was, back then we didn't really understand how hurting it was for the parents, but
had any children told
really
this to
what
their
it was
parents?
happening.
Had any
like our own like my own sister had actually once told our parents that you're only our biological parents. And then they went and asked Swamiji why she's saying all this, and Swamiji's like, no, that's not what I said. And then he, like in front of our parents, he's like, no, you must not treat them like that, you must talk to them, you must do all this. But then again, it's like whoever spends more time, every weekend, initially we had every weekend where we could sit and talk to our parents over phone. And they started saying, if you're taking half an hour to talk to your mother and father, that means something is seriously wrong with you. You must take only quick 5 minutes and quickly finish it. You'll have to come and engage yourself in other activities. So that itself, made the kids starting to just quickly, hi mom, how are you, bye, that's it. And next level was when the parents come to Gurukul and want to take the kid for any function or anything. They'll be like, even one day out of this ashram, if you go, it will take 1 month for you to regain all Swamiji's grace on you, and you'll have to it will take 1 month for you to they'll say you go 1 month slower than the rest of the kids. So naturally kids they want Swamiji's grace, they want to be in that process. So we naturally the kids they start saying, ma, that's fine, I'll not come this time, I'll come next time. And also the teachers want, the principal of Gurukul, Madhvait and Rishyadvait, they won't let the parents to come and take the kids easily, right? Even if it's a new kid or someone who's been there for many years, going out of ashram with parents is something that is not to be done. Like, I still remember, I myself have spoken to some kids saying, convincing her to not go with her parents. So that's how literally we become. Going with our parents, going for family hangouts is wrong. Not even hangouts, let me say, even if it's a celebration or a festival, if you are getting connected to your family, that means you're not being a sannyasi. If you're in Gurukul, you're a sannyasi, and you must only take them as your purvashram, which is they are your biological parents. Once you're in the Gurukul, you've taken a new birth, you need to connect only to Swamiji.
I have to ask your father whether he was informed that you are going to be given sannyasa like this and he will not be a part of your life anymore. I have to ask this question to him when I interview him, and I know what his answer will be, because I already got this answer from some people. I will discuss that separately in a video about Bala Sannyasis. I have to do a separate video. So for our viewers, I would like to clarify one thing. First of all, giving sannyasa to children like that is strictly prohibited unless until they are of a different level of maturity, like Adi Shankara or Ramana or Jnana Sambandha. If they are of that level of maturity, then naturally that process will happen. But taking a kid, training that kid against the parents, and then saying that if you go back to your house, then spend one day in your house, then you are going to be 1 month slower than your peers, is something, some level of manipulations. Thankfully the video is not on from my end, because I'm literally having tears in my eye. I know you are a very, very mature child and you are far ahead in clarity of your age, but even I don't think you'll be able to understand the pain of this as an adult. Because it is something, to have your child look at you as a stranger. That is exactly what is being done to the children there. Their parents are made into strangers at a very young age, and this is being done as a competitive sport, and that is something which is totally unacceptable, because this is literally alienating you from the family, and making the ashram your family and making you totally their slaves. On that note, I would like to ask, you are speaking good English, probably, which I think you did not pick up inside the ashram, whatever skills you are having. And I see many children, and they are actually basically, most of them are from rich families who could have afford good education for them before even they joined the Gurukul. So that is what I am able to see. So please tell me, what were the qualifications of the teachers? And were they qualified educators? And what did you learn from the side of
First of
education?
all, I think rather than that question, you should even ask if we had education. You should ask if the school was qualified, because I can tell you, initially when we went there, they just had this like one tiny board in the office room where it said that edexcel edexcel IGCSE syllabus, and they were like, yeah, we are an affiliated school. And it was only in the month like 2019 that Nithyananda, I don't even know if that is true, but Nithyananda claimed that the school was actually affiliated. So it was really a shock for me, because we were actually thinking that the Gurukul was affiliated IGCSE school. And only when he announced in his satsang did I even realize, oh my God, so all these years it was not even affiliated, right? Let alone the teachers, because the teachers were none other than those um, residential sannyasis there, who previously, like, they might have learned whatever they have learned, like they might have got an MBA or a BA or BCom, whatever. So whatever they've learned, they were coming and teaching us. And apart from that, we had like one person who was working outside as a teacher, and then she came and then she became a residential sannyasi, and then she started teaching us. So it was only like that one person who we had, and she would also teach like for 10th board exams and stuff. But apart from that, like you might have seen, like I myself have put so many videos when I was in the Gurukul, saying that kids here have highest IQ, and we learn so much every day. We learn 10 times more than the kids outside. But then, like once I came out, like now when I'm starting to get used to this normal education, I'm realizing so much that was like falsified there, because we were given papers that is for kids who have low IQ, right? Like it's a student friendly paper that we were given there, and leave the board exams apart. But normally, if I have to tell, we if we had proper education, I would say we literally had no education. We were told we'll have Vedic education plus Mekala system education, but we didn't have either. All we were made to do was work for Nithyananda. And it was only when all the parents came together and made a big problem in the year of 2018 that finally he decided to make a tie-up with the Delhi public school, and so that we have teachers there. And that's why we all moved from Bangalore to Gujarat, and we started studying there. Till then, we never, I can tell you, I never studied 7th, 8th, and 9th like properly, year by year. And it was never a systematic way of learning, only because a very few of us who were like naturally intelligent, we were able to easily do our exams. But if you see most of the kids there, like I can say me and my own sister, before going to Gurukul, you can even see all our results and certificates. It was always like A plus and A. Like, even getting a B was very rare. But once we went there, like our marks really got really low. And yes, I did pass in my 10th, but it was like, it was not really good. I mean, the way our mind was, I mean, the way our IQ was there, it was only that we were made to believe that our IQ was actually increasing. And there is actually no proper scientific research about that. It was just all these falsified claims made by Nithyananda. But honestly, to what he claims, but what actually happens, there's like a huge 180-degree difference.
Okay, so basically, you did not have any outside parameters to compare yourselves against. For example, you never went and wrote any examination outside, or you were not allowed to compete with other school children to see where you exactly stand. Whatever was happening inside the ashram. This is what I am able to assume. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was only like two batches that went out and wrote their 10th exam, and it was
Mhm.
before all these power manifestation thing came up. So once after that came up, that's it. The entire system was gone. Like you see, till today, my older sister Lopamadra Manitya Tattva Priyananda has completed only her 10th. She hasn't done her 12th or 11th yet.
Okay, so basically, like, your education has been severely crippled, and apart from that, you had all this psychotic stuff going on. So with these two things, like, for highly talented kids, it's a different story altogether. That is, they can somehow come out, and somehow they can get back on their legs and move with their lives. But what about children who are already below average? Like, even in comparison to children who are smart in the classroom, they will be knowing that their grades are going down. And I'm sorry. And this Delhi public school system came in. And how did you find this Delhi public school system when it was integrated into the school? And how was how were your educational standards graded at that time as a group?
Actually, it was really ridiculous because like for example, there were a group of kids who were claimed to be class 8, and then so teachers who teach class 8 came and taught the kids from Gurukul. And it was, the results are really bad. Like the tests they conduct, people, like so many of the kids were only getting zero, not even like 50%, but it was just zero. And it was only like a few kids who, because like their own intelligence and they are interested in studies, they could get good marks. So you see, it's only if the kid by themselves wants to really study, and if only if they have interest, they're somehow part of those lucky few who get good grades. But otherwise, studies is given no importance there. And it's literally like the cognition there again is that the more you are focused on studying, that like it's the Macaulay education system. So you will your brain power will start decreasing, and you must learn only the Vedas. So kids really, like most of them there don't like studies. See, I don't mean not liking studies like the way normal kids do. Obviously many of the kids want to have fun, they don't want to sit and study and be so concentrated. But the kids there are different. It's like they feel that knowledge is not required for them. The basic general knowledge, like who a prime minister, a chief minister, or president is, even that kind of basic general knowledge the kids at Gurukul don't have. Like, we personally never really cared who the chief minister or who the prime minister was, and we were never given importance in that field. And you probably, we can try to get in touch with some of the Delhi public school teachers who came and taught us, and I'm sure their experience with teaching us would be really bad for the way we gave importance to studies, for how irresponsible most of the kids were when it came to studies.
Yes. So now I want to make one thing clear to the viewers. That is, when we are saying that the Macaulay education is bad, even I have said that in so many places in my videos, but there is a difference in the sense in which we are speaking. That is to say,
Yes.
the Macaulay education, the concepts that which are being taught, especially in terms of history, anthropology, and the purpose of education is what is wrong with that system. But the starting from Montessori all the way till K-12, the schooling education system, that which the transformation that the so-called Macaulay education system has seen in today's world, what is being taught in the schools, the basic intelligence of the children, it is one and the same as what is the traditional system. There is no doubt about it. Let me make that very clear. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Whether you learn it in Ganita Shastra or whether you learn it through Macaulay education system or you are learning it through Vedic maths, it is essentially the same. But it is one thing to say that you cannot learn the history which is being taught through the Macaulay school. You cannot learn the science, that is the entire scientific history, that is everything was invented in the Western world and the Eastern world is good for nothing, the Indian scriptures are nothing. This kind of Macaulay education, this kind of concepts in the Macaulay education, trying to mirror the West in terms of dressing and behavior, and speaking English is something great. So a person who is looking like an Englishman, behaving like an Englishman, is called as gentleman, otherwise he is a barbarian. That is the problem with Macaulay education, and not with the cognition that which you are gaining, the knowledge that which you are gaining. There is no problem with that. So here that knowledge itself is being blamed as a whole.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Please go ahead.
See, the point here is not about see, when normal people tell, I mean the Hindus, when we say about the Macaulay education system versus the Vedas, what we're trying to say is previously we had already been having so much of knowledge, right? So from what we can gain from the Vedas is like 1,000 times much more than what we can learn from Macaulay education system. That's where the point comes from. And also what we learn from this Macaulay education system is very diluted, and especially when it comes to history and anthropology, as you said, it is something that is really like way slower than what we can learn from the Vedas. And Nithyananda used this same kind of idea, but what happens there is literally neither Macaulay education system nor the Vedas, right? See, what I'm trying to say is something is better than nothing. Kids that don't even know anything, so they'll have to at least start learning something, like the basic mathematics. So even it's not just mathematics that it's not the mathematics is only from Macaulay's education system. In our Vedas, we have the Vedic mathematics, where we had the concept of shunya and all these stuff, right? So the basic thing that is required for living a life is need to be it must be given to the children, but the kids there are literally in the belief, in the cognition that even that is not required. I can be so sure that most of the kids there don't even know basic mathematics and basic language skills. I'm not saying only English is required, but basic way of communicating. And to the world that is right now, they need to start being able to relate to it. They cannot be just lost in their own world like how I was before. I without even having any idea what the person outside is going through, like what the world is really happening outside. When we are in there, the kids in there, it's literally like a separate world there, where you feel education is like of no need. You don't even need to be knowledgeful enough. All you need to do is to just work and do what Nithyananda says, then you're great. You see, that's the cognition difference. When normally when we Hindus say Macaulay education system is something that is way slower than the Vedas, it is different from what Nithyananda claims and what he does.
Yes. So basically what I can see here is that between two stools you have come to the ground. And also I want to clarify one more thing here to our viewers. Again, that is the Vedic system of learning the Vedas themselves is something totally different. The schools of Veda in India, there are so many schools here, even in Tamil Nadu, there are so many schools that are teaching Vedas, like Ahobilamat school, and then we have the Shankara Vidyalayas, wherein they are teaching Vedas, and also CBSE syllabus. Those are schools which are turning out state first, state second students for a very long time. We have this traditional education system. Only difference is that they will not be told Indians are idiots. That is the basic thing that we have against the Macaulay education system. The Macaulay education system tried
Yes.
to say that Indians are idiots. That is the only thing which has to be avoided there. Other than that, the worldly knowledge that is required for becoming a doctor, becoming an engineer, it is not like old times where you can learn from your father and become a doctor and you will be certified as such. That system is not there today. Everything has been institutionalized, and it will take a huge process of change for that to go back to the world level. And there is even an argument whether it has to go back to the world system. So that is something different. But you actually have not been taught Vedas. That much I am 100% sure, because I don't think anybody
Yeah,
who is qualified to teach Vedas is there inside the ashram. Because the way in
that's
which
so
they are
true.
doing their Guru Puja and other things, it is horrible for me to hear, even with whatever little bit Sanskrit knowledge that I am having. So that is this question. And then final question for the interview, that is your whole experience inside the ashram. Okay, you have been interacting with both adults as well as children, and I have seen so many videos even involving your sisters. I'm sorry to say this, you know this. So they have been speaking things which is far, above their age, in a very negative sense, not in a positive sense. So how do you think this was created, this situation was created, and was there not even a feeling of guilt that we are doing all these things which our children are not supposed to do? I really do not want to say what has happened, because everybody knows, and in my channel I will not be saying those things openly, so you understand and everybody understands what has happened. So what do you think, like, how was this atmosphere created, and how was this justified to you?
See, like in the case of my sisters, I can say I'm sure they're being extremely forced to do all these, and I know it because it was me and my sister Nandita, also called as Ma Nithyananda. We called our parents and we told that we don't want to be there, we want to come out because we started seeing and witnessing a lot of things happening there. So you see, um, like I can only talk about my sisters currently. That they see if Nithyananda is spending so much moving them from like Ecuador to Trinidad to Jamaica to Mauritius to the Caribbean islands, and where not, like they've been continuously moving, hiding from place to place. If Nithyananda is really spending so much just to ensure they're not coming to India, that itself means there's something seriously hidden with my sisters. That is 100% sure, and everybody out there will know it. I'm sure even all the sannyasis will be having a slight feeling about this, even if they're not daring enough to openly talk about it. I know whoever is watching this right now, whoever knows about this case, will know the truth that if my sisters are not being allowed to come to the court, not even coming over to a video conferencing with the judges, not even coming to India, that itself means something both my sisters have witnessed that is really, really dirty and really, really wrong. I can say it's really dark, something that has happened in the ashram. And my sisters have witnessed it. Not being able to tell it out in the open, neither able to, like, take it in. My sisters are stuck there because literally it's like a person holding a knife right at their throat and saying, tell this in the video, come on, tell that you don't want to meet your parents. Obviously my sisters will have to tell those, right?
I
So
understand. I
whatever they,
understand. Yeah.
yeah, so whatever they're talking against our parents and like against us, I still will feel pity for them. We all still totally understand how they feel, and we will still patiently wait for them to be able to come to India. And um, but I'm sure everybody will understand that if Nityananda is spending so much onto them, trying to hide them away, there's something seriously wrong. That itself is the first answer. And also, there are many other kids, like who have put videos in YouTube saying um, the CWC officers came and then they showed us wrong videos, they showed us dirty videos, and then they touched the female bodies and all these kind of dirty things. This is literally the trend in the ashram since the time we've joined. Anytime a person brings up a problem at the ashram, first thing they do is character assassination. Second thing they do is to create some kind of dirty reports about them and then do false allegations and then slowly do a complete, like tell how they tried threatening Swamiji. Like they created some story saying my mom tried poisoning Swamiji and all. They literally come up with the same strategy for anybody who tells the truth to the world. Like you can see in the 2010 case, when they brought some truth out to the world about Nithyananda, immediately character assassination happened. Even I was also part of, not in the year of 2010, but in the year of 2016 or 17. Once again, some problem came up, and so we each of us sat like literally like for 3 days continuously, putting 50 to 100 posts against that one person who had filed a case against Swamiji. And again, the same thing happened even in the year of 2019 when there was one woman named Sarah Landry who came up against Nithyananda telling all the truth openly. So we all were made to sit and do all these character assassination stuff. And now when our family is in this kind of condition today, is again the same strategy that is being used. When we as children, what we think when we do all these kind of activities is actually, personally, I have seen that we really don't like doing it. But what we feel when we're doing it is, we're like, wow, see, we're supporting Swamiji, we're fighting for Hinduism, we are the real Hindu warriors. So all these kind of stupid ideas that are fed into us is what makes us feel it's okay to do it, even though it is something wrong. Like we talk about even all dirty things about the person, saying the person has misbehaved with this person and all these kind of things. We put Facebook posts publicly, we make videos publicly, yet we don't feel guilty about it really. In the sense, I do feel like that's something that did not even happen really. Why am I being made to do all this? That kind of thought will be there somewhere within us, but we will only focus on, no, we are doing this for Hinduism. Let's give away our thoughts. We are becoming Hindu warriors. Let's fight for Swamiji. This is how it happens.
Actually, let me say something here. I have been involved in the Hindutva movement from my age of 13. First time that I got arrested was when Kanchi Periva was illegally, wrongly arrested. That case is no more right now, so I can say this openly. He has been evicted of all crimes. He has been proven not guilty of all crimes. So I can say this openly. It was a false allegation due to political reasons, and he was arrested at that time. And that was the time when I did protest and I got arrested. I never knew there is something called as Vishwa Hindu Parishad existing, nothing. After that, I associated myself with elderly people there, very senior, real Hindutva warriors. And I can fairly call myself as a person, as an orator, as a protester, all these things I've been doing from my age of 13. And when we were discussing, even in person, when we are discussing, if we are using any bad words to describe any real anti-Hindu element, for example, there is this, all these DK fellows, all these people are there who are really against Hinduism. If we are using bad words even to scold them on a personal level, I have been slapped so many times, literally, not to use that kind of language even on a personal level, because the first and foremost quality of a person who is a Hindu, leave alone Hindutva warrior, a Hindu is his own personal character, his own personal discipline. This has been ingrained so strongly in me that, even speaking badly about the real people who are doing real damage to Hindutva, not the, persecution, Holocaust that Nithyananda is speaking about, not the damage that is being done to Nithyananda, which is being projected as damage to Hinduism, the actual damage that is being done by Muslim terrorists, evangelists. Even when we are referring to them, if we use any foul language, we will literally be slapped. This is how we were trained as Hindutva warriors, and this is how RSS and other organizations, they are working with children, with teenagers. Our strength is youth. ABVP, our strength is youth. So that is how we are working. So this is a totally messed up scenario. You have brought out so much of, and I think whatever you have spoken is only like, 5% of what is really happening there. There will be so much to say, but giving, taking time into consideration, this has already become a 1.5 hour interview. So I will be splitting it into parts anyways, but giving consideration to time and other things, we will, I will speak with your father, and with his permission, we will be having some other questions, because only 5 or 6 questions of what I had to ask you was covered. That's a huge list. So anyways, I will really pray to Ambal that your family must come back together again, because the greatest unit, the most fundamental unit of the Hindu society is the family, and that must not be damaged in any case, even in the name of sannyasa. Only with permission you can get sannyasa. There are so many regulations for that. So whatever name it might be, in whatever name, the family unit must not be damaged. I really pray that you come back together, and I really pray that everything gets well with you and you are able to live a good life. Thank you so much. All the very best for your future, ma. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That ends the third part of the interview with Ms. Kalplatha Janardhan. And if anybody wishes to ask any questions to her, as I mentioned in the previous two parts, kindly ask your questions in the comment section. She will be reappearing in our channel for another repeat interview, and we will be asking those questions to her. And also, if anybody wants to have a series of questions or discussion with her on a video call, that can be arranged as well. With her father has informed me that she will be willing to appear for an interview again on your channel, whether it is just questions posted through the comments, or if anybody wants to speak as well, a video conference can be arranged by you. So I have agreed to that proposal, so that is openly available right now. So please make the use of this opportunity to ask questions to her. Thank you so much. दच्चं योरा वृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय घातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगाद भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपते सञ्चतुष्पते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नमः सतसे।